All right, so now let me expand this guy and show you what we're going to build now. So I'll bring this out. What we're going to do is we're going to build the sidebar component, and we're going to now, attach everything together such that we're going to have the sidebar, and then there's a layout component. The layout component will contain the header, which we've already built, so a child component, and the footer. All right, so first let's just build, not like we're going to build all of the sidebar right away, but at least we're just going to build the components that's going to hold the sidebar. So let's come back here, and here in my file explorer, I'm just going to add another component which I'm going to call sidebar. So a new folder, and I'll call that folder sidebar. Hit enter, and this sidebar is going to contain some. So the first one is going to be sidebar.js. Then inside here still I'm going to have a sidebar item. So here I'll say sidebar item.js as well. Then lastly we're going to have the CSS file. So I'll just drag the CSS file inside. Remember, you know where to find the CSS file. It's in our styles GitHub repository. So but for me, since I already have it, I'll just drag it like so. I don't know why it's okay. So sidebar, and drop it there. Aha, so you see we now have the 3 files that we need here. Now let's create a component, a barebone component. So for the item, I'll just do RAFCE, and then I'll just leave it as this. Save. I don't need the card anymore, so let me close the things I don't need. The header, the footer, the layout, I don't need these ones. All right, so for the sidebar, let's go ahead and create barebone component RAFCE. I'll hit enter. Now for this sidebar, let me import the CSS file. Import /sidebars.scss, and I'm just going to give this a style, because if you look at the sidebar, well, let me show you something. If you look at the sidebar here, like we said, it's common to all the pages. So like if you go to this report bug page, you see that we still have the sidebar and the header as well as the footer. So technically what we're going to do is, the way we're going to structure this thing is that everything here on the right is going to be considered a child component within this sidebar. So let me show you how we're going to structure that. So let me close this up, and so this sidebar, now I'm going to give it a class of layout. So let's do a class name, and I'll say layout. Okay, then I'll open it up like so. Come on, help me. Aha, so now inside of this layout component, we're going to have 2 main components. The first component will be what we hold this side by itself. So here I'll just come here and create another div with a class of sidebar. So sidebar, I'll tap that, and then let me just have a h2 here that will say sidebar. All right, so that's the one that will hold the sidebar. Then for this other component, which is the layout component here, I'm just going to create a main tag, and that main tag is just going to have children inside of it. So what that means is that we're going to create the children prop and have it here as well. So paste that in. All right, so I think for now this can just serve as the barebone structure of our sidebar. So next, let's create the dashboard component. So if you dashboard page, actually, because it's going to be like a page. So if you look at this page here, yeah, so this is what we're going to create now. So let me just minimize this guy, and then I'll just come here to my pages. Aha, so inside of the pages, I'll create a dashboard folder, dashboard, and then inside of that I'll just create the dashboard component. So dashboard.js. Okay, so RAFCE, and then inside of this guy here, I'll just have h2 that will say dashboard. Great, go ahead and save. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to create a route for this dashboard, and remember that route for the dashboard is going to contain the sidebar and then a layout. So the layout will be the header, the footer, and the sidebar components will be in the middle. Okay, or the dashboard components will be in the middle rather. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to go to my app.js. This is where I'll create the route. So after this reset route, I'll just give 2 spaces to separate it, because this one is going to be a little bit I will say complex. So here we're going to say route. Let's close it up, and the path, that's where the route is going to be set to dashboard. So / dashboard. So we can just say / dashboard. Okay, that's one. Then the element, that's the component is supposed to display. Now this is going to be a little bit complex, so let me just bring it to the next line. For the element, first of all, we want it to have a sidebar. So here I'm going to say sidebar, and then I'll tab that to open and close it. Oh, sorry, why is it not sidebar? Okay, I don't know why it's not creating an opening and a closing tag for me, but that's what I want, so I'll do it myself. Sidebar. So it has created a closing tag for me. Now let me just import it since I'm here, and let me make sure that I created it. Okay, yeah, I did. So I would auto import it, and it's not auto importing. What's going on with my Visual Studio Code? Like, somebody help me. I don't know what's going on, that my Visual Studio Code is not helping me auto import stuff. So I need to import it manually. Anyway, let me just import everything first. So now the sidebar is going to have a children component. So here I'll just make the layout as the child. So layout, and then I'll close it. Now this layout is also going to have a children component, that then I'll make the dashboard the child component of the layout. So here I'll say dashboard, yeah, and close it. So you see the structure, the sidebar has a children component, the layout has a children component. All right, so now let's go ahead and auto import these guys, and for some reason I'm not able to auto import them, so I have to manually import them. Wow, this is going to waste time, but anyway, I have to do it. So I'll come down here, and this is going to say import dashboard from, it's in the pages, quite all right, then it's in the dashboard folder / dashboard. Oh, sorry, what's going on here? / dashboard. Yeah, then I need to import the sidebar components. So let's duplicate this one and say sidebar, and that's not in pages, that's in the component. So I think that's / components, and then / sidebar, and then we now have the sidebar itself. Then lastly we have the layouts. So layout, and that is in the layouts, and then / layouts. Great. So now we shouldn't have any error when we save. So I've got to save this guy, and let's test out the dashboard component. So I'm going to open this up and go to my finished project. Let's go to the home page. Am I sure it has finished compiling? Oh, it just finished compiling. Okay, so now I'll click on dashboard and let's see what we get. So you see we have the sidebar, we have the layout components. The only thing I'm not seeing here is the dashboard component, so I don't know. And even the header, this header here, I don't quite see the text. So we're just going to look through and then fix what we need to fix. Then I also think I think the dashboard is within this guy, but it's just that it's somewhere behind this one. That's what I think. But we're going to fix it. No problem. It's not a problem. So let's start by fixing the header here. So I'll quickly go to header, Control P and header. Okay, so what's going on here? We have a span welcome. Okay, I know what's going on here. The welcome Zeno is also behind this sidebar because we've not added any styles. But technically, you know now that we have the basic structure. So I think that's about it for this one. So in the next one now, we can go ahead and start building out the sidebar proper. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one then.